Charlie, how Chelsea have managed to win this year's transfers are very interesting. Seriously, because I did not expect it like this. For them to be able to win this year's transfer strategically, positioning themselves at a place where the players they want them to the extent that when even bigger guys come out, they say that still a Chelsea Football Club and a pay. And then of course also making sure that they are the best club in and around to be chosen by this club. I think it's top notch. It's there is an update of something that I said here. When I sit here and I tell you guys something here, take me serious because I've said it several times. Most of the news that you hear in the media, especially about transfers, for me, I look at diction. I said it several times. Diction, diction, diction. The choice of words of whoever writes anything, and I look beyond the diction, and I find to do my analysis and fine tune it and find the real reason why certain things are said, certain words are used. I said it here that something had happened a couple of weeks ago, and then certain things were just being done because of a few things. And I'm going to talk about it over here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing us here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's your best football tactical analysis channel. If you've not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, turn on notification, in the notification turning, do choose all. If you are an investor, then this is also your place for you because every day we sit down, we do analysis. We're being with the best in terms of betting codes for you to pick them up, put them in your betting app, and then win good money here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So it's over to you. You get good content, you make good money, and you enjoy the analysis. Of course, also, apart from that, I introduce you to the best guys in terms of deals in this country. First off is the Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Yeah, that's the name. Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. They are the best dealers of any kind of spare parts everywhere in this country that you are. You get to send you. But if you're in Accra, drive there. He has the boys over there who take care of you, take care of the car, make sure that he sort things out for you over there on Yesumo Spare Part Dealership. So if you're not in Accra, he does what he calls the nationwide delivery. Call him on 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. Make sure that I call Yesumo today. Of course, if you want apparel, if you watch the video before this one, I wore a certain cardigan. I got this from MOB Clothing. Yeah, MOB Clothing. Just the video before this one. It's MOB Clothing that gave me that nice cardigan. I wore another version of it the day before on Monday. Today I wore another one. Tomorrow I'm going to wear another one. All of them clean stuff from MOB Clothing. I'll be wearing some other stuff also from them that you're going to enjoy. So if you want clothing, if you want slippers, if you want shoes, if you want bags, if you want belt, if you want trousers, if you want office stuff, if you are going out for a lunch date, for regular dates, everything that you want, it's MOB that you have to go to. Please, if you are in Accra, they are Tudu, that flower station at Tudu, a flower station at Tudu. Just go there. Whether it's retail or wholesale, MOB Clothing will take very good care of you. But again, if it's just about the fact that, okay, you want it sent to you, they also do what they call the nationwide delivery. Call MOB Clothing, contact Mommy or Gerard on 0200-668708, 0200-668708 or 024-7277-140, 024-7277-140. Reach out to them right away. Let them take very good care for you. Anytime that you go straight to them, tell them that Fiifi-Manfred directed you to them. It's a big game for football club Real Madrid. Big one for them. Essentially because the season has started, and for them it's starting against Osasuna. Almost everywhere that you go in Madrid, Marca is reporting that the Santiago Bernabeu say they are ready to start the season. I'm very certain that they want to start it in a grand fashion. For Madrid, it's going to be about how they'll go into the season and then get that win. So spoke about it yesterday, spoke about it this morning, spoken about it on the show, that Madrid's biggest issue is going to be how their front three is going to play without the ball. How they lead the press, how they counter press, how they turn the ball over and be aggressive and win the ball high up the pitch. It's going to be super important for Football Club Real Madrid. So obviously, that is how we're expecting that Madrid is going to go into the game today. Be aggressive. Ante Budimir obviously will lead the lines for Osasuna, but that is not something that Madrid cannot do. Of maybe you can go for your Ante Budimir to score as your anytime goal scorer if you want to bet on there. But then it's going to be a game that I expect that Real Madrid may win by 3-0 in there. If they do, it's a big one for Football Club Real Madrid, for them to be able to go in there and then get the job done for themselves. So we'll see Adam Militao is starting. It's going to be his 7th season at Madrid, 7 seasons at Madrid for Eder Militao. Time really, really does fly because when did Eder Militao come from Portugal? I mean, when did he even come from Brazil to go to Portugal, from Portugal to come to Madrid, to come and play for Madrid for 7 seasons? But there you have it, 7 seasons, Eder Militao. Today, he gets to be, I think he's going to be the captain, or Courtois is going to be the captain. I think it's going to be Eder Militao who's going to be the captain of Real Madrid today. That's if Dani Carvajal doesn't start off, maybe between himself and Federico Valverde. But in one of the senior players at Football Club Real Madrid, Arda Güler, this is going to be his 3rd season at Madrid. So it tells you that this is such a big season for all of the Madrid players and the players that have been there. They want to win the Spanish La Liga. They want to make sure that they win the Spanish La Liga. It's very, very important to Football Club Real Madrid. They want to make sure that that is sorted. So there are things that are going to go on from there. Over there this afternoon, in the morning, I told you about the Hansi Flick plan. Hansi Flick plan. I mean, Barca have been in some level of uncertainty. Say Barca midfield DM pair, who partners who in terms of number 6. So I just say Barca has almost about 4 players who can do that job for them. They have Marc Casado, they have Marc Bernal, they have Frankie de Jong, and also Pedri Gonzalez. These are all high quality. I remember in the preseason of last season, when Frankie de Jong was injured and he had those issues of contract extension or best sign, on-sign, all of those things going on with Football Club Barcelona. I remember I kept on telling people that, see, when you look at Casado and Bernal, they are good. Very, very good players, in their own right. Quality on the ball, quality of the ball, recycling of play. Almost every metric that you use to judge players in that zone, in that part of the pitch, on the ball, off the ball, they have it. You see, I've said it several times. La Masia essentially trains players who, when they play even in defensive position, it is more about the cognitive ability. Now, let me explain. When you look at somebody like Sergio Busquets essentially was one of the top brains at Barcelona at the time. Now, he is not the most physical, the most combative, the most aggressive. He doesn't cover a lot of ground in winning duels on the ground and stuff like that. But what Sergio Busquets does is that he positions himself at the right place at the right time. He wins those balls. He turns those balls over. He makes sure that he picks up those balls at a time where he has to get a job done over there. That is exactly what Sergio Busquets was. And it's because of the education from the La Masia. As a number 6 or La Masia there, and you have to boom the Chelsea player now. You read the game. You nick it in the bat simply. And that is how Marc Bernal and Marc Casado have been trained and how they want to play on the ball, off the ball, in the first phase, in the second phase. On the ball, they are literally two of the best players that you can get in the game. But the partnership of Pedri and Frankie de Jong is important. Now, but at some point in time, we're literally at crossroads where they felt like, okay, then we need to let these boys go. Apparently, the Barca board had to fight to Deco and then Juan Laporta, and they told them, said, Debbie, you can't be selling one gas. You can't be selling Marc Bernal or even Abrantia friend of Marc Casado. But they think that these 2 players are going to be there for the long haul at Football Club Barcelona. I think that that's a smart thing to do to keep this very, very excellent prospect. Guys, need to say Pablo Torrebore, they've made them go. Sergio Dominguez, they've made them go. It's important that you use these players to go and get some money into the club. And I think that's one of the reasons that Deco have gone in. We'll talk about that later, about the midfield pair. Of course, after those 2 midfield pair and then the future of Bernal and Casado, Barca are saying that the 2 number 10s, he is going to alternate. That is Hansi Flick is going to alternate between Abrantia and Femi Lopez and Abrantia Dani Olmo in that number 10 role. This one is going to play 10 today. Then depending on the openings that they play, we have number 10, then we have number 8, we have number 10, we have 9, we have China. And Barca plan to have quality players across the field of play. Obviously, and number 9 is supposed to be first one, Robert Lewandowski. But Marcus Rashford can play as a 9. Rashford can play as a right winger. Marcus can play as a left winger. Something that is deemed to be very, very important in terms of the squad depth for Football Club Barcelona. Also, there's Ferran Torres who is up there. So, I mean, Hansi Flick has it all cut out. And I told you the last time that he says he wants to make sure that things are going to go on well for them. Barcelona are still grappling in terms of a financial situation. But this season, the ways Barca have been able to get to the financial ways of registering their players have been 3 ways. One, in terms of players that had to go, sales, they've done so with Sergio Dominguez, they've done so with Pablo Torre, they've done so with one other player, one of the other players from the La Masia, fullback. They've done so also with them. And they also sold certain rights of people, Alex Moriba, Jean-Claude Todibo, all of these players. Barca had certain amount of rights in their deals. They've sold it out this summer. Also, one of the things that they've done is that some players be on manner or salary, so on Barca salary. You need to say the friend is Emerick Laporte. They terminated a contract and allowed him to go for free to Atletico de Madrid. Also, and Simani Fati, his loan to AS Monaco, very, very important for him to also go away from there. So Barca have been very tactful, very technical, and also with the departure of Abrantia Inigo Martinez, and that's of the big one, Abrantia, your friend Marc-Andre ter Stegen, that's percentage that they have in there. So the next move now is for Barca to register Wojciech Szczesny and also register Hector Fort is also one player that they made go. Also register one more player over the last time I spoke about him. Very, very important from the La Masia. Last season, he was important for Hansi Flick. People said he wasn't good enough, but Barca's plan is to make sure that they go ahead and then do that all-important registration and have all of their players now in that team. It's very, very important for Football Club Barcelona. Football Club Barcelona. See, somewhere around 2 or 3 days ago, I came here and I sat here and I said that, see, Chelsea have 8 players that they have to let go. So in that 8 players, there's Nicola Jackson, there is Raheem Sterling, there is Axel Disasi, there's Kani Chukwuemeka, there is Benjamin Chilwell, there is also, I think there are a couple of other players that they want to let out of their team. And these are all players that Chelsea have realized that they don't have a future in their team. So they want to let them go. So it's the exit 8. They call them the exit 8 in their team. And then also the players that in their team that they want them to come in there. Now, these players now are at various stages of their team, of departure. One, somebody like Kani Chukwuemeka, Dortmund will have come, Leipzig, and some teams even in the English Premier League are asking questions on Abrantia Kani Chukwuemeka because they really want to get Kani Chukwuemeka out of that club. They realize that injury, and in that Chelsea midfield of Andres Santos, Enzo Fernandes, Moises Caicedo, and all of that quality, there is no way they are going to get these. Kani Chukwuemeka is going to get enough game time to come in here and come and play. So that means that he needs to get game time from elsewhere. Very, very important for his development. Dortmund brought money, but that money definitely was not enough. So it means that Kani Chukwuemeka had to stay put and then wait for a better option for himself. Now, Raheem Sterling is going to prove to be the most difficult one for Chelsea Football Club. How are they going to convince clubs to come in and then come and buy Abrantia Raheem Sterling from the club? Because obviously, Chelsea wanted to make sure that they get Raheem Sterling out of their books, the salary that he takes and stuff like that. Of course, Christopher Nkunku already add his number here, so that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 2 more. I think as we go on, those names are going to come up. So Chelsea essentially want these players out of the team, and they have been struggling. They've made some sales. Mando Broya was part of them. Leslie Gochiku was part of them. Amando Broya is gone. Leslie Gochiku also gone. Now the other players that Chelsea wanted to make sure that they also leave the club. So how are they going to manage that all of these players gets gone so that they can go on and do their job? Because the goal for Chelsea Football Club is that by the end of this summer, by the time this transfer window is done, they should be able to get to a net zero in terms of sales and an expenditure. They don't want to have, spend certain amount of money. On the books, it should be zero. They've not spent anything, or maybe at least they gained something onto their books. That's something that they want to be able to do. Of course, the big one was Christopher Nkunku. And I gave you an update the last time. There was a new update. Build, Platigo, Mia Samia are saying that almost everybody on the top of the board of Christian Ford and Max Abel have told both of them that the rest of the deals that Bayern can do this summer are only going to be loan deals. But they also want Nkunku. In fact, they had sent Pini Zahavi about 3 or 4 separate times to go to London to convince Chelsea that they want him. Now, this is what I think. I think that Chelsea will give them, if they will allow Nkunku to go on loan, there's going to be an obligation to buy, or there's going to be a penalty attached to it. That he goes in there, you are going to buy him automatically. Trigger it that if you finish within the first 5 of the German Bundesliga, you are going to automatically buy him. There is nothing. You can't do anything about it. Automatically, you buy him next summer. They will literally make Christopher Nkunku an albatross around the neck of FC Bayern Munich. Of course, when you go on, Axel Disasi about some shooters. Kani Chuku Emeka did mention also has some shooters over there. Now, the big one was Nicolas Jackson. Now, there are lots of clubs that asked about Nicolas Jackson. Notable amongst them has been Aston Villa. Now, Villa, because they lost out on Champions League football, they can't get Nicolas Jackson unless they are able to sell one of their centre forward, which is Oli Watkins. Now, they were hoping that Oli Watkins probably would have left to go to Arsenal so they can bring in Nicolas Jackson to come in out to the park. But that has not happened. But do you know the most intriguing thing? See, Bayern have gone into the market and they've contacted two of Chelsea's players. Two players that Chelsea had gone and had asked to want to add them to their pack this summer. Bayern have gone there and then they've told them that we want you to come and join football club at FC Bayern Munich. First off, has been Xavi Simons. If you remember, a couple of days ago, Xavi Simons had told Bayern, the reports had come that Xavi Simons had told Bayern that he only wants Chelsea Football Club. Now that is huge. I've said it several times. It is a huge statement for football club Bayern Munich to go after a player of the caliber of Xavi Simons, who is in Germany. Now this guy is not outside of Germany. He is in Germany. He has played for Leipzig before. And Bayern don't let players who have played for Leipzig go. They don't do that. If you have played for Leipzig, they do everything possible to make sure that they get you. They don't make players who have played in Germany unless they don't want that player. They do everything possible to make sure you stay in that country. Now, that did not happen. They went to Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons told them that the only club he wants to play for is Chelsea Football Club. Now, Fabrizio Romano is reporting in the last few hours that Bayern had gone and given a call to Alejandro Garnacho and his agents, the Ali Barat group. And I told them that, they like Alejandro Garnacho. They want him on their left side for him to come and add some creativity and some directness into the way that they play. Ali Barat apparently spoke to Garnacho, and the reports this evening is that Garnacho has told Bayern that he doesn't want to go to any club called Football Club Bayern Munich. The only club he wants to go and play football with is Chelsea Football Club. That is the only club he, Alejandro Garnacho, wants to play football with is Chelsea Football Club. Nothing about going to play for Bayern Munich. Nothing about going to play for any other club. The only club that he wants to play for is Football Club, Chelsea Football Club. And I mean, I think that is huge. That is very, very huge for the kind of way that the sporting directors have done and how far Chelsea have come. For Chelsea to be able to pull players away from Bayern Munich, and these players try and say that we want to play for Chelsea Football Club, then that is true. Matt Law reported something this afternoon, and I said it. In fact, I said it before Matt Law that I said that I believe that Chelsea have already agreed a deal for Xavi Simons with Leipzig. I said it several days ago, and anybody who watched that video will remember. And I went on to explain using my microphone case, and I said that if the only reason why Chelsea are not allowing Christopher Nkunku, they are not allowing that deal to be known outside, is that if you let Xavi Simons come, he is essentially a replacement of Nkunku. This is Nkunku. When you bring Xavi Simons in, let's say this is Xavi Simons, this is Nkunku, he's replacing this player. And the person who's going to buy Christopher Nkunku say that, you already have a replacement for him. So just take something small. So I remember I did that annotation and I said that is the reason why Chelsea don't want to let the outside world know that they are done with Xavi Simons. They will only let people know about Xavi Simons immediately Christopher Nkunku is out of the park, and then he brings in Xavi Simons, so that whoever would have bought Nkunku would know that, okay, fine, now they've not done with it. Yes, somebody asks that if I know, then maybe the other clubs also know. Yeah, they can know. But because it's not official, you can't use it as a bargaining chip. Because it's not official, you can't use it as a strong point to drive for some discount for Chelsea Football Club. It is not going to happen like that. It's just not going to happen. And that's exactly what Chelsea Football Club are doing with Xavi Simons and, of course, with Christopher Nkunku, and to make sure that these players get exactly what they want. They get exactly what they want to make sure that things are done well. I mean, that's something that I said. Matt Law just confirmed it. And so what we are hearing is that those two players are just waiting for Chelsea. They are just patiently waiting for Chelsea, for them to come in and then get a job done for them to move to Chelsea Football Club for them to be able to play for Chelsea Football Club. I hear that Alejandro Garnacho there, he is 100% in love with Chelsea. I mean, whatever you do to Alejandro Garnacho, he's not even talking. He is so much in love with Chelsea Football Club in terms of what he wants Chelsea to do, how he wants Chelsea to go about their things. So we'll see if truly the deals are going to see the light of day or it's not going to see the light of day. Today, the boys returned to training. They are returned to training. Everybody was right there. Stava William, Joshua Kofi Champon, Liam Delap, Cole Palmer, Marco Creya. Everybody was back on the training ground preparing for that big one London derby against West Ham United. It is not going to be another easy game. It's going to be another truly difficult game, especially away at the London Olympic Stadium. Away at the London Olympic Stadium. It's going to be a very difficult game for Chelsea Football Club. But again, I think that Enzo Maresca has proven, he has shown several times that he is the man to play. He's the man to trust when times are difficult. He's the man to believe in when times are difficult. And I mean, you can only trust and believe Enzo Maresca to go in there and then go and deliver with the kind of things that Chelsea want to do around us. So we'll see how Enzo Maresca will navigate the waters of West Ham United against Graham Potter. Last season, he beat Graham Potter. I think he's going to beat him again at the London Olympic Stadium. Last season, he also beat William Lopetegui at the London Olympic Stadium. Lopetegui wanted to play in another 3 at the back system, but then Enzo Maresca found loopholes in those spaces and then beat William Lopetegui. By halftime, that game was already done. But the Crystal Palace one, I mean, a much more